Please look with grace. I hope everyone is doing well wherever they are. I'm in DC right now. This is my home. I'm currently tuning in from Washington, DC. Hope everyone is well. And just been inspired to wanting to have this conversation for a while because I know there's a lot of change going on everywhere. And one thing that keeps coming to mind is how powerful our mindset is. And so I wanted to find a different way where I can empower all of you and give resources, practical tools that would hopefully help you and wanting to do something different, be creative and be empowered to what to do. And so a couple of things that I want to get started. And as you join, please shout out hello and hugs as well. I see a couple of folks tuning in. Great to see you. Which is one, I put a couple books and resources I want to share with you. Which is one, what we consume really matters. And so whether you're reading the news or whether you're reading things, whether you get inspired by books or talking with individuals, just keep in mind what you consume matters. It's important to keep from insight learning, and it's important to think about what decisions you will make with the things you're learning. And so I share this because I've been thinking a lot about with the different people I work with, different friends I have everywhere in the world, who's going through the question of, how do I continue to build trust across team members? How do I empower my team digitally as we go through a different change? And I apologize, I live in DC, so you do hear a little siren. I apologize on that. And, how do we take this a different lens with courage, with positivity, when at times we might not know the answer as a leader? And so whether you are in a leader role, whether you are with teams, my hope is that the conversations that we can try out here is a safe space where you can learn, talk about it, and I'm calling it creativity is in business because there's a space for us to build resilience and do something new. So Monica, what in the world do you want to do? Well, couple things I wanted to do at least for today's test call. And Ezzy and Charlotte, it's great to have you here. Shout out to all the other folks as well. Is one, I want to be intentional about making sure I ask all of you what are things that you want to ask as well, and what are questions perhaps you all have too. So let's see if I'm able to try this out. I had some questions. I'm not sure if I can share my questions well. I'm still learning how to do this. Okay. So then let me jump right in on doing one. My intention is having a place where we can have an honest conversation where it's positive mindset driven and not fear. Number two, I hope this is a place where we can talk about some problem solving tools. And three, some resources. And so for today, because I'm really wanting to understand from all of you, what are conversations and topics that you would feel that would be most beneficial in regards to some of the immediate questions you have in the work you do, some questions you might have within your team. And so please feel free to write down in the comment section. But for now, I wanted to talk about, for those who's facing, how should I tackle scarcity mindset if anyone is going through that, and how can I talk with my team better to have better communication? And I've been just going through a handful of rereading some of my favorite books, and can I start with some of my book suggestions? These are two amazing classics that I highly recommend, and I'm sorry that they're not female authors. I wish I can share in times of International Women's Day month. But I share back to these classics in times where moments like this where communication is so, so critical. There is so much misunderstanding happening even when we talk among people, talk with allies and friends that we know. I can share at least a handful where I know I'm speaking with a friend, but there is okay, can we pause for a second? Because I think there's a miscommunication going on. We might accidentally say things that is hurtful for one another. And one of the things that I was really empowered by rereading some of these favorite books of mine was, don't take it as how to win friends and influence people, but think about how do I be more mindful about communicating, collaborating with people in the midst of this, especially in this transition, but just in general. Digital age means that so much of what we say is, blah. Like we're saying things, but how much of it are we actually being mindful about who we're speaking with? And I think a lot of that is lost in translation, especially when emails are written, right? Or messages are shared. I mean, frankly, a lot of the stuff that we share, even on the internet, even this intention today, the conversation I want to have with all of you, and that's why I'm really asking all of your proactive feedback. I want to hear from all of you. What are things you want to hear more? Like, I can make this into a whole book club. I have enough books that I really want to speak about, which I think will be hugely empowering as we think about communication and collaboration. Or do you have a specific challenge that you want to have an honest conversation? But the key thing that I think, just going back to this book in particular from Dale Carnegie, for those who want to take a look, is the power of empathy. It's funny because he doesn't use this word here, but everything at the end of the day he's talking about is everything you say and do. Do you really know what the other party is thinking about and why that person has to care? If we took at least a bit of effort, I'm going to share a couple highlights, right? To listen, to actually understand, like, okay, so why is this person happy? Why is this person upset? And give honest. I think, I don't know how many times when people say that, wow, that email just felt copy and paste, that people are saying things, I just did a recent survey on what are misleading quotes and phrases that people cringe. And I would say the number one reason why people shared some of those comments was because there's so much that we say out of habit, being automatic. But if we were being honest and sincere and really thinking from the other person's perspective, we could probably be a lot, not only effective in our communication, but be more mindful. And so I hope that, if you're feeling like, geez, like I'm kind of going through a bit of a conversation, communication, empowerment that I need, I recommend this as one of your books that you should get and take a look and reread if you have it already. And this was so timely too, Crucial Conversations, right? When the tools are so high. And I know right now the stakes feel high for many of us. And one thing that I found, again, empowering to think about it is, the more high it feels, keep in mind that the other person might feel the same way. So how do we look from a more eye of empathy and more curiosity? So instead of being reactive, how do we think about what might this person want from me? Why would this person feel this way? And really start with the heart. It says right here, right? Start with the heart. Oops, let me see. How do I get it? Start with the heart. And I hope that if you're looking for some book resources, these are places that you could go. For those who are just like, well, I don't have time to read right now because I'm so busy, I'll share a couple of links here that I recommend taking a look. But for those who's just feeling a bit overwhelmed right now with everything, just looking for some positivity, a couple things I recommend is, one, find a place where you can practice gratitude. And two, a channel where you can receive positive messages and some practical tips that you feel empowered to take next steps and actions. And whether that is something that you say that, hey, when I read this column or when I read articles like this, I feel that I can do X, Y, Z, and I have the courage to step up. Then go ahead, whether that's Brené Brown, reading more books, or like myself, or watching TED Talks, or talking with some friends. Find your outlet. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and share some of these links that I was looking up before this conversation in hope for those who are more article readers. It's really important to think about how you respond to your mind and thought process. To simplify it, think about how what you eat impacts who you become as a person, right? How you consume food, everything you're hearing and observing and listening and experiencing, that's basically what your mind is processing to shape your perspective, how you feel. And so that's where I would say creativity mindset is in a business, because there's an opportunity how we can improve that, to be resilient, to stay more positive. So to recap, whether that's, finding things that keep you positive. Share at times if you have somebody you can share with, and really get a moment to practice gratitude. And so I'll start with one example. I'm grateful that we even have this technology platform to stay in touch with a lot of my friends and allies. I've been checking on with a lot of friends in different cities and countries, and to hear how they are doing as well as their businesses. We all have a chance that we can support one another. And so I have a handful of other conversations. And in fact, I'm hoping that I can have more conversations maybe on YouTube or this format. Let me know. But for instance, whether it's email communication, feedback, collaboration, how to sell your idea, time management, how to do better meeting facilitation, trust building, project management, delegation, networking, all of this is rooted in the way you build your mindset. So take a moment to think about, where's my train of thought? Why am I thinking this way? And how did I get to make decisions like this? The more we train and be aware of how our thinking and mindset is, there's an opportunity for us to shift that. And so I'm calling series Creativities in Business, but let me know what you all think. I would love your feedback and questions. And thank you all for those who have already shared what questions you all have and hoping to understand more, whether as an entrepreneur and leader. But again, this is my courage attempt to do this. I know some of us are being mindful about what we consume. So please stay courageous. And as we wrap up, I just want to end with a handful of quotes to leave you with more positive gratitude, which is one from Winston Churchill. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. And courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Second one is from Brene Brown. Hi, Valerie. Great to see you. Second one is from Brene Brown. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen, which I hugely agree. This is my attempt at wanting to be courageous because, as you know, I don't really do this often, but I wanted to make it accessible about how we think about positive mindset. And last one is from Maya Angelou. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you will have. And so that's all that I have for today, because I am taking a step out of my comfort zone to do this. So please look with kindness and let me know what you want to see more. How can I help you? I was rooting back to my conversation again that I just wish there was more positive messaging and tools and resources out there. So it really inspired me to what can I do to help contribute? So let me know. If you know other tools that has helped you, please share it here because I'm sure everyone else would like to know as well. But for now, again, some book suggestions that I have, and I'll share more in the link. But stay courageous, optimistic, happy, and to look forward to tuning in more. Thank you. Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate it. So look forward to speaking with y'all soon, and please stay safe and be happy. Talk to you soon. Bye.